Welcome, Media Men Online. My name is Dan, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the monstrous weekend that Deadpool and Wolverine had. Taking a look at the numbers.com, and Deadpool and Wolverine, $211 million domestically and $233 million worldwide for a total of $444 million. This is the lifetime gross of... This is all domestic numbers, by the way, because Avengers Endgame made almost $3 billion, so we're talking domestic. And if we take a look at the opening weekends, that would slot Deadpool and Wolverine in at number 4, right between Avengers Infinity War and the first Avengers movie, which is absolutely insane for opening weekend. I'll have my review, my full review. There is a spoiler-free first impressions type of video up on the channel already, but I will have a full review coming out this week. And the production budget, just by a quick Google search, is they've already made their money back because you take the budget and double it, which seems very strange because usually these movies are costing $500 million to make. So maybe they're starting to wise up. I don't really know what's happening over there, or unless it's just, you know, it's a one-off for Marvel because again, this is not technically an MCU movie. It is in the MCU now. This is a Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman production. So you got the little Marvel Studios logo on here, but it doesn't really mean much. It means something for Marvel's budget, but does that mean that they're going to change and start letting these creators who adore these characters create? No, they're still going to hire the activists and the check boxes and all that stuff, and they're going to make Captain America black and Thor a woman and just all the nonsense that really drives people away. Why do people like this movie? Well, there are tons of references to comic books. There are tons of references to previous movies that some have even forgotten about. There's a hilarious nod to it's in Deadpool Volume 3. I believe it's a 6-issue story arc called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And I will save that for my spoiler-filled review, which will be coming up this week. The Twisters review this week, and possibly Longlegs, but each time I go to try and see that movie, the theater is absolutely packed. I try and go to see it at night, and the movie must be doing very well because every single time I try and go, it's completely packed. And I saw it once, not thinking I was going to do a review, so I wanted to see it a second time just to really soak it in. You know, I just went there, sat, didn't take any notes, enjoyed myself. It's quite a good movie, so I do want to see it again, but I have a 70-plus hour work week coming up starting tonight, so I don't know if I'll get back to see it until next week, so we'll see there. And then the other review that I wanted to have up this week is the Marvel event Devil's Reign. Let me pull that up here because I haven't read a Marvel comic book. I can't remember. I think I read some of the Carnage stuff when there was like that Carnage outbreak and everyone started absolute carnage. There we go. I read quite a bit of this one, but it's been a while. It feels like the sequel series is called King in Black and began in December of 2020. So nearly 4 years, apparently, since I've read any Marvel comics because of what they've done to them. I used to be an avid reader. And here's the thing. I was in the comic book store the other day. This might be a bit of a tangent. Oh, well. So I was in the comic store in our local mall, and I'm looking in the new releases section, and a bunch of it is re-released older stuff. And they're charging $3.99 a piece for a comic book that came out in 1974. So here was my idea. So you're never going to get a child to come in these days when everything is more expensive. All you're doing is promoting people just illegally downloading it. So here's what you do. Since you already have the story, it didn't take anything else but the paper you printed it on. You print it on newspaper paper, right? And you put it out on the shelves for 50 cents or $1 max, but I want 2 for $1. This is the wheelhouse that I wanted in. But it allows these kids to read these stories because I I work full-time job, but I have bills and stuff to pay for. I'd like to go on vacations and stuff. That's neither here nor there. So you take 50 cents, you print it on newspaper paper, just the cheap like New York Post style paper, and you put those out for 50 cents a pop. What does that cost you? It costs you barely anything. You didn't recreate a story. Well, I know you guys are good at that, but you didn't create a story here. It's been around forever. All you're doing is shipping it to that's pretty much what it's going to cost is shipping costs. But if you get a kid to come in there with a $10 bill and they buy 20 old comic books and they read the Avengers stories from the old days, you are going to gain a Marvel fan for life. Because but right now, if a kid goes in and sees this old comic book with old art and the character Iron Man still has that old style gold suit, he's not going to pay $3.99 for that. Like if he goes in there with a $10 bill, he can get 2 comic books and have enough left over to be kicked in the testicles when he walks out on the street. It's ridiculous. So you can still charge your ridiculous $3.99 for your comic books, which probably is why they don't sell very well, right? But you're relying too heavily on people whose lives are comic books. The people who, no matter what you do to them, they're still going to buy them. People who don't stand up for themselves. But if you do this idea, okay, what if you put out 2 comic books a week? Old school comics, 50 cents a piece. Kid goes in there with a 10, he buys those 2 comic books for $1. He's got $9 to spend on the other 2 comics you're trying to sell. It's a way to get people to become fans without, and those old stories are way better than the new ones. So you're getting the kids to stay. And like I once was when I was 5-10 years old, and we didn't have a ton of money to throw at that, but from what we had, I was able to go to the comic book store and get some stuff. And if there was a system like that, you would lock these kids in until you did something to offend them, I suppose, or you'd get some lifers in there. So, someone at Marvel hire me. I know I'm not a checkbox. Maybe I'll just tell them I'm handicapped or something. They probably believe that. That's not too far of a stretch. But anyways, take that idea and run with it. So it's been about 4 years. Sorry, back to where we were. But I'm finally going to review another comic book, which is Devil's Reign. It's a Wilson Fisk, Daredevil, Spider-Man, Captain America on the front. But the problem I had even before I bought it is there's like knockoff Spider-Man on there. There's knockoff whoever this Lady Daredevil is. Is that just Elektra as... Just have her be Elektra. I don't understand. She's already her own character. But if that's Elektra just dressed as Daredevil, that's just proof of what the state we're in. So, yeah, Chip Zdarsky on this one. And, yeah, I'm going to give that one a try. The art is very nice. I've already read a few pages of it. I'm enjoying it. And we'll see how much woke there is before I pull the ripcord. So I already checked that. And the last bit of news, which is wild, is Doctor Doom has been cast for the MCU. And I thought this was a joke because kind of the way it was presented at San Diego Comic-Con, they had all these little Doctor Dooms dressed, these little side characters. And then out comes Robert Downey Jr. in the Doctor Doom mask. It seemed fake. And this story by the New York Post, Elizabeth Carpin. Fans bash lazy Robert Downey Jr.'s return as Doctor Doom. Marvel reduced itself to cash grabs. Well, the thing that bothers me, not that Robert Downey Jr. is Doctor Doom, because I was very nervous it was going to be a DEI situation with Doctor Doom, but the thing that really bothers me is that it's the same face. You're not going to keep the mask on him. He's a megastar. You're not just going to hire Robert Downey Jr. and put him in a mask the whole time. It's going to be like Halo or any of these other, what was that one, Mandalorian, where they just pop the mask off. But it's the same face as the guy who started and ended the MCU. Let's be honest, the MCU ended in 2019. It's just, Robert Downey Jr. is fantastic. He's going to do a great job. It's just weird that it's the same face as the guy who all our hearts were broken in 2019. So I don't know what the hell they're doing, but I guess if you're trying to get people back in the seats, but you know how to get people back in the seats? Give them what they want. Deadpool and Wolverine wasn't some woke DEI BS. It was an awesome movie with comic book and prior movie references. Can we just do that? You don't have to hire Robert Downey Jr. So, whatever. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but they really don't either. If you get Robert Downey Jr. and the movie flops, then what? Then you're paying him half the budget for the movie, and that one's called Avengers Doomsday. May 1st, 2026. Is Doomsday replacing Kang Dynasty? Well, yeah, because you hired the DEI guy and he still screwed you over. So, whatever with this crap. I'm going to take it one movie at a time. Doctor Doom. If you've ever seen me online and on PlayStation Network or anything, you know that Doctor Doom's my favorite character. Well, one of my favorite characters. So I'll probably see this one, but it's always going to have female Thor and Black in America and all those guys. So it really doesn't make a huge difference, but I want to see what they do with Doctor Doom. But we'll just go from there. But yeah, check out later this week. I don't have dates set yet, but I have the Twisters in the works. I want to do my Deadpool and Wolverine spoiler review and then Marvel event Devil's Reign. And if that goes well, maybe I'll do some more of those, but we'll see. Thank you as always for watching. And you can check out more videos down below. Check out my Deadpool and Wolverine spoiler-free review if you haven't seen the movie and you kind of want to know what you're going to do with it, but I'm sure you've already made your decision. So thanks for watching. Like, share, comment, all that good stuff, and I will catch you guys later.